сургаалыг Welcome. Сайн байцгаана уу хүнд үзэгчдээ. Өнөөдөр ороо манай дефакто нэвтрүүлгийн зочноор Конгийн Веритас компани дэд захирал ноён Howie оролцож байна.
Ховий ноён Ховийн менежментийн системийн гэрчилгээ олгох сургалт явуулдаг Конгийн Веритас Лимитэд компанид гүйцэтгэх захирлаар ажилладаг. Тэрээр батлан итгэмжлэгдсэн аудиторуудын олон улсын бүртгэл болох хүлээн зөвшөөрөгдсөн тэргүүлэх аудиторуудын сургалтыг Бангладеш, Солонгос, Тайван, Мексик, Турк, Вьетнам, Индонез, Филиппин зэрэг улсуудад хүргэсэн. Мөн тэрээр Азийн бүтээмжийн байгууллагад мэргэжилтнээр ажилладаг. Ноён Ховийн байгалийн шинжлэх ухааны чиглэлээр олон төрлийн сургалтанд хамрагдаж 1998 онд ISO 14001 тэргүүлэх аудиторын сургалтыг дүүргэснээс хойш ISO 14001-д зөвлөх аудитын үйлчилгээ үзүүлж байна. Тэрээр ажлын гараагаа ерөнхий цахилгааны чиглэлээр эхлүүлсэн бөгөөд Motorola, Philips, Whirlpool зэрэг байгууллагуудад дунд болон удирдах шатны албан тушаалуудыг хашиж байсан. Ноён Ховий Конгийн их сургуулиас цахилгааны инженер чиглэлээр бакалавр, байгууллагын инженерийн чиглэлээр магистрийн зэрэг тус хүртсэн. Харин бизнесийн удирдлагын магистрийг Канадын Торонто хотын Йорк их сургуульд хамгаалсан.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
You know, when I first learned about the quality and you are coming to Mongolia, making sure that there are several companies making better quality, I was immediately intrigued because that's something we are missing.
Yes.
Please tell us about your mission to Mongolia.
Well, for this mission, I'm assigned by the Asia Productivity Organization and also the Mongolian Productivity Organization to help a petroleum company to improve their integrated management systems, including quality, environment, and occupational health and safety management systems. And so that's my mission, is to really help them to develop a demonstration company and eventually improving the product quality, customer service.
How many companies?
At this point in time, one.
One. And you said petroleum company?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. It is Asia Development Asia Productivity Center.
Yes.
Who had this idea, and is it your first trip? And what is the level of this quality assurance in this company, in that sector?
Well, actually, this is my third visit for that project.
Fourth visit.
The third project, the third visit, and already we have started in July last year. We started July last year, and so we are now progressing to eventually to be certified to the free standards. And so we are now working very hard in implementing the system, developing the procedures, and training the people to implement the system.
So what is that intrinsic need for a company to be certified in terms of quality? Why?
Well, I think we always said to our customers the reason for certification is twofold. One is internal meaning it's a platform for control and also a platform for management, for improvement. And if you have a system in place, then you have a platform for management. And the other one obviously is for promotion, for marketing purpose, and also maybe for buyer requirements and giving extra confidence to your customers.
Looks like this is international trend.
Yes.
To take care of these two aspects just you described. And there are several sort of international standards on that. Please tell us about, in general, worldwide quality standards and what are those about and how are they classified, etc.
Well, actually, I think from a quality point of view, I think the de facto standard, if I use the term now, is the ISO 9001 standard. The ISO 9001 standard was published in 1987. So it's quite long, a while back already. And actually, we are now working on the 5th generation standard, which will be published by a later part of this year. And so at this point in time, we are working on the ISO 9001 2008 version, which is the fourth version of the ISO 9001, which focuses on process control, focuses on satisfying the customers and preventing mistakes. And that's how you drive quality. And obviously documentation is a part of the system. But nowadays we tend to move away from the emphasis on documentation and put more emphasis on the real outcome, and that is customer satisfaction and product quality.
Let's go back to the beginning of the standards.
Yes.
And what happened in 1987 so that these people who had decided to make this standard?
Well, actually, it's a long journey. It's a long journey. Actually, it started off as a model for quality assurance, and then it developed into a British standard, and then it evolves into an ISO standard. So back in the 70s, in the 80s, in the UK, they were doing this third-party certification back then. Using a British standard BS 5750 at that point in time. And
so British national standard eventually became international standard.
Yes, that's right.
And making sure that the quality is assured in every product. That is it in every industry, or there is a particular industry which is covered, not covered?
The ISO 9001 is now written in such a way that is generic. It's applicable to any organization, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's surveys, whether it's government, whether it's NGO, it's all applicable. It's across all platforms, all cultures, all industries. But then we can see that in certain areas, some sectors feel that their requirements can be more. And then they developed what we call piggyback standards on top of the ISO 9001 standard. A good example would be the automotive standard. So for the automotive component manufacturers, they will work to a standard which is based on ISO 9001 plus some automotive requirements.
It is all the sort of global products required, or it's every product you can, for every production, even for domestic market, you can use that ISO?
Well, basically, it's applicable to all the organizations. So the organizations. So the certification is an organization certification.
Including
so what we
NGOs,
call a system,
government.
We call a system certification.
System certification.
So in contrast with product certification, where the certification is based on a certain product.
And you have been doing it around the world in several countries, and your company, Hong Kong Veritas, kind of reaffirming these standards all around the world. And how do you find the situation of that standard or acceptance the standards in Mongolia?
I think Mongolia is picking up certainly on a positive trend, and I see a huge opportunity for Mongolian organizations to implement a genuine, effective management system so that the customers, the consumers can benefit out of the process. And it will give extra confidence to the consumers.
And it will be very useful for companies' sales.
It should be helpful. It should be helpful to their sales, because they will enhance their customer base, and obviously they have a better product.
If you would quote any good cases where the introduction of this standards would or could change completely the way a company looked the products were made before.
Well, I think in the case of Hong Kong, we can see that, say, like construction companies, we can see even some public utilities, they improve their qualities by improving the ISO 9001, and eventually improve their service tremendously, and even some government departments.
Welcome it should not probably happen overnight.
Yes.
The industry is to want to have this. And what is that, this drop, which makes the whole industry wanting to have this standards?
I think one driver obviously is from the buyers. One driver is, say for example, many overseas buyers are demanding their suppliers must be certified to ISO 9001, for example. And also, like the Hong Kong government is also requiring all these major contractors to be certified to ISO 9001, 14001, and the OHSAS 18001. So the buyers is driving, and also many of the government departments, if they outsource some of their processes, you will get extra points in the tendering process if you are certified. So if the government can implement some sort of policy and encourage in a step-by-step manner the suppliers to get certified.
Why courage?
Encourage.
Okay, so in Mongolia, for example, we have a large, as any government, large public procurement system. So it is to be, the standards are to be embedded into that requirement?
Tendering requirements, that could be a consideration.
Consideration?
Yes.
And there may not be consideration?
Yeah, I think eventually, I think you have to give time to the organizations, because that cannot happen overnight. And typically in Hong Kong, I can quote one example, and that is we have what we call the Housing Authority. The Housing Authority in Hong Kong is the department that is building the public housing in Hong Kong. And already all the suppliers, the subcontractors, are certified to ISO 9001, 14001, and 18001. And since actually their requirement is since 1st of January of 2014, the contractors are required to be certified to ISO 50001, which is the energy management system. So the transition period will be 2 years. So meaning by end of this year, then all the contractors has to be certified to 50001 if they want to be continue on the tender list.
I see. What makes different that this new version of the standard 50001, you said, from the previous one? Why they suddenly require from
because
this year?
The situation is because this management system standard really works. And so that's why many areas they are interested in developing their own management system standards to manage different areas. For example, I just mentioned 50001. That is the energy management system. So that is to enhance your energy performance. So you have a management system for managing your energy performance, your consumption of energy, energy conservation.
Well, I wish we have that.
Yeah, so that's a good system. Yes,
See,
absolutely.
now in Mongolia, if you take a real estate as industry, several players are missing. For example, developers.
Yes.
Or brokerages. And any construction company finds any slot of land, they made whatever they want, and they sell it. Sort of, they construct it, they find land, they develop it, construct it, sell it, and after they even, we call it exploitation committee or something. And so they are the whole chain. As a result, in general, the house real estate is very expensive in Mongolia.
Yes.
And we are always now, the customers are wondered about the quality of each step.
Yes.
So that the customer is confident that all quality is there. Looks like what you do in Hong Kong is the must here.
It could be a good benchmark for you.
Benchmark, okay. And in order to do what you do, what kind of qualification you should have? For example, your school, university, and certain sort of career background, right?
Well, I think most of my peers would start off with an engineering degree, and then has been, say, like in the technical area for many years, and then typically they will move into management positions for many years, and then they get into this conformity assessment area. Say, for example, myself, I've been in this area for 19 years, and so So we see the development in the 19 years, different version of standards, and how the standards mushroom really. I just mentioned the environmental management system, which is the 14,000. The occupational health and safety management system, which is the what we generally call the 18,000. But there is also the food safety management system, which would be the ISO 22,000, and also the information security management system, which is the ISO 227,000.
So you are trained in all these.
I'm trained in most of the standards.
And you, for that, you have a special certificate for that?
Oh yes, we do have.
Is it international standard or is it in Hong Kong?
No, this will be generally we call the IRCA certificate, which will be a certificate recognized by the UK. The training course has to be recognized by UK.
And you have done study in Hong Kong, UK?
I didn't study it, but our training course are approved by the UK.
I see.
Approved by the UK.
So, in general, it makes a certain standard.
Yes, that is a internationally recognized recognition if you go through that training course and get the certificate.
Looks like every industry must have this people who are certified to make sure that things done by that standard.
Yes, that's right. And that is actually what we call an auditing course. That means you are qualified to have the training to audit those respective standards.
See, the situation in Mongolia is the auditing is done by so-called state auditing committee.
Yes.
In fact, people don't much believe in what they do because they keep changing, not merit-based, and plus they are not certified like you guys. And people are a little bit disarrayed with all these things. And we have also sort of controlling or monitoring, we call it there would be a professional monitoring committee.
Okay.
Which has not enough staff to really evaluate, monitor every project in the country.
Okay.
And yet in Hong Kong, they use people like you who is certified, and what you are signing there before type of person like you come to say at the end of construction building, and then you come sign that this is certified, or what how do you do physically?
Well, actually, we certify the companies to the ISO 9001 standard, for example, which means they would have quality management and they would have quality assurance in place. And so if the company is genuinely certified, then we should have confidence in that organization, what they are doing are proper. So doing according to the
first
books.
of all, you certify those, in our case, the construction companies themselves.
The company itself.
That's
then you
good.
have quality assurance, and then they should be using the proper materials, the approach should be approved, and then up to international standard or national standards, and so on. So that's how it works. That's how it works.
For example, in Mongolia now, the construction companies make insulation with the foam. White
foam, yes.
Is it the standard, or how do you know?
So this will be up to the buyer specifications or maybe international specifications if they're following those specifications.
The foam to be
used,
exactly
so
that standard probably should not be.
That could be British standards or
not
other
flammable.
International standards. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Flammability, safety is a huge issue.
If it's a burning, it should not give a lot of poison.
Yeah. Safety is a huge issue.
Who gives us guarantee that this is the one? That insulation foam in Mongolia is that of standard. Nobody gives the standard.
Yeah, but then there should be that maybe there would be requirements from the fire services that these materials are not permitted to use in Mongolia. That could be a legal requirement. In many cases, many of those materials are legal requirements, and you must conform to these standards. And for ISO 9001 companies to be certified, they must identify all the legal requirements related to their product.
Okay. Let's talk a bit, because you have been working in health and safety also.
Yes.
So how to make sure that the quality is there in medical services in the country? What do you think?
You mean health and services?
Yes.
Well, I think medical is a different field. So this you talk about the hospitals and so on. What I'm working on is on the health and safety of the organizations, meaning those workers and visitors, make sure they don't get into health and safety issues due to their work.
What do you mean?
Meaning, say, like, do you have accidents in the workplace, or maybe you fall down, maybe you got your finger cut, and all this. So all these are preventive measures. So you have to look at the hazards involved in the processes, your workplace designed, make sure that your people can sit comfortably within the workplace, and they can perform their work in a very efficient manner.
Say a person creates company, rents office.
Yeah, great.
And then there is certain work area, maybe, whatever they do.
Yeah.
So before they start operation, if there is anybody, third party, who is coming and certifying that whether it is safe and sound?
Yeah, that can be done. Yes, that can be done. So the organization have to identify all the hazards involved in their workplace, and they will have control measures in controlling all those activities, and also obviously it could be through the personal protective equipment. It could be the training of the people. They have the awareness what to do, what not to do, so that the workplace is relatively safe. Yes.
So of course it is a set of culture, standard, the government requirements, everything. It's sort of a blend, right, for those
it takes time to develop. I can also give you one example. Is like 30 years ago, I would say, in general, the construction sites in Hong Kong are not very safe. But now, after 30 years, with effort from the government, with effort from the industry, and many stakeholders, I think relatively the construction sites are safe. And the workers do have the awareness of entering into the construction site. They will not do anything without the personal protective equipment, because they have the awareness that this is a situation where I must have the PPE with me. So that is a matter of training and culture, and also dissemination of information. Indeed. And typically construction sites would have, say, like a briefing at 8 a.m. Before they start work, and they will give maybe a 5-minute revision on safety practice every day.
Wow.
Every day.
Even today?
Yeah, even today. Even today, absolutely. So that's how you build in the culture within the people. And it takes time. It takes time.
It's a part of culture already.
Yes, absolutely.
So you have been working for some time for a particular company, but not going into particular individuals, but overall, how do you see, where are those most striking issues in Mongolia, you think?
I think striking issues, to be honest, I can't say I very understand Mongolia at this point, because this is just my third visit. But I can see the opportunity, and I can see the interest of the people to get involved and to learn the subject, and make use of the systems to improve the performance in quality, in environment, in health and safety. So I can see huge opportunity here.
A lot space to improve.
Yeah. Well, there's obviously improvement possibilities. Yes. Well, continued improvement is the idea, so we never stop.
You were starting your career with General Electric.
Yes.
And you have been working for flagman companies like Motorola, Philips, right? Whirlpool. What was the take from your first career about the importance of this quality control? What was the sort of things that really set into you that quality is so important?
Well, I think I'm lucky in the sense that my first job landed with General Electric. And
where? Which office? Which place?
In Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
In
okay.
Hong Kong. And we learned so much. And I can say that is back many years ago. The system that we have fulfills already, I think, most of the ISO 9001 requirements as per today. And so they have such a complete system, management system in place. Then as a young graduate, I learned a lot from my first work. So you can see, and I'm lucky in the sense that I can learn so much of my first job.
Welcome. What you are saying is a lot thing comes with the standards, and the standards should be the agenda for every company and for the government as well.
I certainly would encourage that. I said to my students, and that is, what is ISO 9001? ISO 9001 is common sense. ISO 9001 is the summary of all the experience we have worldwide, all the experts in quality in the last 100 years in quality and management. So if you know how to use it, it's really very variable. But if you don't understand it, then you can't use it, you know.
Well, when then in the industry don't use it, then the whole country is expected to have not high quality products.
Yeah.
And when the value is not coming with the product, then eventually the product will be gone.
Yeah, that's right. And also potentially the company will be gone.
Yeah, that's I am with you on having the whole cohort of people understanding this requirement of standards and the need of standards. Do we start it with each industry, or do we start it with university? How to get the things done in the place for a short time in Mongolia?
I think if you ask me, I think the place to start with is the top management.
Top management.
It's top management, because I think
in any given company.
In any given company, including the government.
Okay.
I think if they could turn on and if they buy in, I think everything solves. I think if top management don't support, and then even you have a very hardworking quality manager, he or she is not going to be successful.
Say in Hong Kong, you have, as a special administrative region of China, you have own ministries, departments, right?
Yes.
And each department has this standards in place now?
I think in the Hong Kong government,
yes,
many of the government departments are certified to ISO 9001 or more than one standard. In Macau, where we do a lot of training as well, many Macau governments departments are also certified to ISO 9001 or 14001. So, and there are certain interests in some government sectors that they are certified and they find the standards to be useful.
Including probably court, every organizations possibly, right? Public organizations.
I won't say all the departments, but especially say like in Hong Kong for the works department, meaning the waterworks, the drainage services, or the
housing,
electrical and mechanical services department, all these departments has been certified for more than 10 years.
See, say that there's some replacement of staff, new employees come.
Yes.
What's the procedure that this guy, new guy, is following those standards?
Yes, that's a good question. That's a good question. And actually, that is what the reason why we need to have a system in place. And that is, you have established the procedures within the organization. So irrespective of who is taking charge of a certain position, they must follow the procedures. And there should be induction programs for them to be introduced into that position, including potentially qualification processes. So meaning it's not only training, it's also qualification. So this has to be evaluated whether he's competent, yes or no, into that particular position. And all these are built into the system.
It looks like for institutions' capacity strengthening.
Oh, absolutely.
This is just sort of a key.
Absolutely, you're right.
Well, I wish here in Mongolia our government understand and takes these challenges, and all companies, so that they have good management, and with that quality assurance standards in place, they can even raise more investment, right? More opportunity
Absolutely.
For investment. Well, sounds very promising, and I wish good luck for the project you are doing in Mongolia.
Thank you very much.
Obviously, it will bring certain change in quality of that company, which will bring them certain competitive advantage.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for your invitation.